Hi, Melody here. You may know me as ApplePie Movement. I am a humanitarian carving out the conversations with humanity which need to be heard. In this interview with Bishop Worsham, I am illustrating the importance of respecting the human in humanity, of how different groups such as Christian and the gay community can come together and lay down differences which have always kept us apart in the spirit of inclusion, in the spirit of creating a better tomorrow for us all. I come from a very old Christian family. My great-great-uncle wrote Destined for the Throne, which is the book that launched Trinity Broadcasting Network, which is one of the largest Christian networks in America, if not the world. In the spirit of inclusion, I would love to interview Ivanka Trump, because if a woman such as herself and myself can come together in a spirit of inclusion, laying down our differences for the greater good of humanity, that would illustrate to the rest of our country and the world how important it is for us to come together and have a conversation for the future of our species. Hello everyone, I am Melody and I am the founder of ApplePie Movement. I'm here today interviewing my guest, Bishop Worsham of the Agape International Church. And we're going to have our first ApplePie Table Talk for human equanimity.
Thank you, Melody. Glad to be a part of this conversation today and to be able to learn from you, and also to be able to share some thoughts that I have on human equanimity. And immediately when I think about human equanimity, I refer really to the definition of equanimity in itself, the evenness of mind, especially when one is under stress, and having the right disposition or balance in life. So I believe this is a wonderful conversation about human equanimity, because all of us as human beings, those of us that are part of mankind, experience a variety of levels of stress. And so I think this conversation helps recenter us, recalibrate us, and helps us to make sound decisions and address some of the ills of society. So thank you again.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you. And I would like to know, being a bishop, working with the Los Angeles community for as many years as you have, what changes do you see that need to be made in order for everyone to feel like they belong and we have a community where every person feels valued?
I'm very appreciative of the word community. We are a part of the community, regardless of our race, our sexual origin, and our religion. Humankind is a part of one community. When I look at the word community, I think of common unity. There is no community where there is no common unity. And I believe that we develop and learn about this common unity by coming together in settings like this, learning from one another, sharing with one another, and putting our minds together as to how we can make the world a better place. Community begins when we sit together and dissect opinions and backgrounds and beliefs to find out what is our common unity. And common unity, community, begins with conversation. And that's what we're doing today.
Exactly. So in your opinion, Bishop, what type of conversations need to take place in order for there to be a greater community within Los Angeles between different subcultures that maybe don't interact presently?
Yes, community, common unity requires conversation. And in that conversation, there must be a coming together. And in that coming together, there must be a complete understanding that we are all different, we think different, we dress different, we live different, we believe in different things. We all come from a diversity of values. However, we must learn to coexist in community. And I believe as a religious leader, it becomes my responsibility to encourage conversations such as this that teach us how to coexist with one another. Our city, our communities, our nation, the world is in a state of disarray because we do not know how to coexist. You know, I think about in the early onset of the civil rights era, all of the segregation, the black children here, the white children here, certain water fountains there. You can't sit in the front of the bus, you have to sit in the rear of the bus. And we've moved past that stage of segregation. But I believe segregation is still happening today in this millennial age. We are segregated by religious beliefs. We are segregated by our socioeconomic status. We are segregated, the rich from the middle class from the poor. We are segregated politically. And this segregation is dangerous. Thus, persons cannot worship freely in the temple or house of worship of their choice because one will attack them based upon what they believe. Individuals who choose to be Republican, Democrat, or Independent are attacked because of what they believe. And so until we learn to have a conversation globally about coexisting, we will never have true community in the world.
Very well said, very well said. What is one idea that you have in order to build bridges of connection, to create this sort of global community, which I agree we need to have, and what would you suggest we do to facilitate that?
One of the things that I actively participate now as a religious leader, there's so many areas that need to be addressed, and I realize I'm one person, I cannot address them all, but I can address areas that specifically fit within my vocation, and that is religious coexisting. That means I'm a Christian, you may be Muslim, the other person may be Buddhist, the other person may be atheist, and whatever that belief is, my responsibility now is as a human, so forth and so on. My responsibility, I feel, as a religious leader, is to learn to bring all religious persons together, all faiths together, believers and non-believers, and have a conversation once again about coexisting. One of the principles that I live by is the golden rule, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. And another principle that I live by, it is the principle of respect the religious beliefs of others. And so I participate across the country, even across the globe, in forums bringing religious leaders of all faiths, multi-faith, coming together to talk about religious coexisting. At the end of the day, whatever you believe in, our job as religious leaders, regardless of our faith, is to make sure we work to make the world a better place. There is a song, I don't know who wrote the song, but I remember hearing it growing up. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. My job as a human, created by the Creator, God, is to be an agent of peace. And as an agent of peace, I have to love everybody. In my practice of Christianity, Jesus gave a scripture that said, by this will you know that you are a disciple of mine, if you have love one for another. And when you get down to the Greek translation of the love that he's speaking about, he speaks of the agape love. It is unconditional. I have to love the drug dealer, the prostitute, the murderer, the atheist, everyone. I have to love them. Love creates community.
Very well said. So if we focus on love and we focus in coming together in unity and peace, we could potentially change our world and make it a better place.
Absolutely. Love is the bridge to respect. I cannot respect my sister if I do not love her. And I may not always agree with my sister Melody, but at the end of the day, because I love her as God commands us to love, I respect her. Learning to love means, we hear it all the time, we grow in community. We learn to agree to disagree. And I can disagree with you, but still respect you. But I can't respect you if I don't respect myself.
Very well said. And without respect, I can't see your humanity, you can't see my humanity, and we can't come together in a peaceful environment to
Absolutely.
meet in the middle of the road to create a world that all of us can enjoy and all of us can live in.
Absolutely. So when you talk about human equanimity, in all that I do, I must have the right disposition. And I must have balance. My life must have balance. But not only my life, my mindset must have balance. It cannot all be me seeing it my way. Community, common unity means that common unity is birth in, again, communication and learning. I must learn how you've come to the place where you are now. I must learn how you've come to the place to believe what you believe. I must learn how you have come to the place of understanding what you understand about the variety of things that surround us in life. So disposition and balance means the changing of our mindset. We've got to have open minds in this conversation about human equanimity. So many people are stressed out because they don't know how to deal with people.
Very, very true. Very well said. Thank you so
Thank you so much for allowing.
Thank you so much for joining our conversation today. Without you, there is no movement. Please like, follow, continue joining our conversations, and remember, you are worthy of love because you exist. Thank you.